All right, let's rock and roll.
Cool.
Rajesh, it's great to have you here.
Likewise, thank you.
So I'm looking at Lincode, and I want you to describe this for us because when I look online, it says you are an AI visual inspection system for quality control.
Absolutely.
And I get the impression that helps manufacturers see things they haven't always been able to see. Can you tell us a bit more about Lincode?
Yeah, Lincode is a software AI company
Mm-hmm.
where we help manufacturers to do quality inspection in a 10x performance and efficient way and a cost-effective way to identify the quality defects.
Excellent. So we were chatting before the interview, right? I think you were giving an example of like a scratch that a manufacturer was not able to see until they leveraged your solutions. Can you describe that story a little bit, what it was like before and then what it was like after?
Yeah, so I'll have to just a little bit backtrack how we started. So
Yeah.
I'll give you an example, why we are able to do what we are able to do today. So prior to starting Lincode, we always had few customers talking to us and asking us, can you solve this particular challenge in the manufacturing environment using AI and so on. So we gave a pass always, and once we got repeated things from various customers, then we thought it should be a big challenge to solve. So we went to around 300 plus manufacturers. We asked them what are their top 10 challenges. 86% of them said quality inspection is their number one challenge, and that got us intrigued, and we wanted to know why everyone is saying that as a challenge. And we went to the manufacturing floor. We actually sat with the quality inspection teams. We noted down what the technology they use and how they are doing the quality inspections. And we figured the the false positives was the biggest concerns for them, because that was costing them a lot of money in terms of penalties, production downtime, and repeated material wastages and so on. And that's the reason why we started this company altogether, and we started working on a specific problem statement, which is how do we scale the deployments with a higher accuracy, and that's what we are solving today. Yeah.
I love that aspect about the story. You went to 300 different manufacturers. I mean, that's a great startup story right there. Why 300? Was that just the number, or how did you say that's the right representative sample?
Okay, so I mean, not exactly bank 300, maybe maybe 312 or
Give or take.
330.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I just rounded up 300, but yeah. So we wanted to reach out to as much as customers possible. Like we had probably shortlisted some 500 to 600 customers,
Yeah.
but what we actually got the message back was only from this 300, and that's the starting point for us. But of course, we carried on with those research with Gartner's data. We have signed up with Gartner, and we are working with them, and they provide us various data points, and we repeatedly keep seeing that quality inspection is their number one challenges still even today. Yeah.
Awesome. So when we look at AI, I think there's a lot of perception on that AI is a very difficult process to understand. It's difficult to integrate. How has AI been simplified in a way where it's a lot easier for companies to roll out when it comes to the deployment on their facility or on their factory floor?
Yeah, absolutely. So AI, is as a deep learning, it needs a lot of data to get the accuracy level which is required in the manufacturing floor. So what we did is, instead of doing the data collection for each and every industry, we wanted to focus on specific industries first, and we chose automotive. Because the fact is, in automotive there are only about 500 to 600 OEMs, whereas there are 250,000 suppliers to these OEMs. So the problem is not with the OEMs, the problem is with the suppliers. So we are focusing on the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers who have the biggest challenge. So for that, we've actually created a AI model specifically to work with the plastics and steel and metal, which is the most used material in the automotive industry. So we have created a huge data set of that, and we have created models specific to every aspect of the engine or plastics in the cars and so on. And that way, we just need a few images to train for that particular model of the factory which is producing the product, and we quickly deploy. So we just need about 3 to 4 days to deploy, whereas in a deep learning you need about 3 to 4 months to deploy for AI model. So that's what we have made AI as a easier aspect for the manufacturers.
I've got to add something in here because Rajesh, I think you're saying some things that are super valuable for manufacturers out there and people starting their own companies, right? Like, the reality is, when you're doing these things, you're talking about, hey, we talked to this many customers, we narrowed it down to automotive, we narrowed it down to this material in automotive. Like, there's so many lessons I'm pulling from this just in terms of the value of narrowing your focus and being really good at certain applications as you're starting out. I mean, would you say that's fair to say that's been a part of your strategy?
Absolutely.
Like narrowing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there a question that we wish we would have asked you that you would like to talk more about within what Lincode's doing or what AI is doing to change the industry?
Yeah, the one question is, definitely I want the industry to really answer that, not just me, is with the kind of labor shortage in the US market where, getting the people for the manufacturing industry is getting difficult. Robotics is going to play a major role. The automation is going to play a major role. But are we ready for that? So the robots cost really expensive. And even for inspection, we definitely rely a lot on the robots to do the complete inspection in an automated way. So if at all, if somebody is listening who can do, bring the robotic cost either very less, or if they can make it as a, monthly cost, as a, not as a capital, more of a operational expenses. That way, if they bring it, it'll become more easy and accessible for even smaller companies to lay their hands on the automation.
No, this has been great. We appreciate all the insights you provided. Thanks for jumping on the show with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll see you soon.